The night sky over New Delhi erupted in a dazzling display of light, casting an ethereal glow across the bustling cityscape. Dr. Amrita Patel, lead astrophysicist at the Indian Space Research Organization, watched in awe as a pulsating orb of energy descended from the heavens, its radiance outshining even the brightest stars. As the strange phenomenon touched down in the heart of Connaught Place, the city's central business district, chaos erupted. Car alarms blared in cacophonous discord, streetlights flickered and died, and countless smartphones captured grainy footage of what would soon become the most significant event in human history. Dr. Patel, her heart racing with a mixture of fear and scientific curiosity, rushed to the scene. She arrived just as local authorities were establishing a perimeter around the pulsating orb, which had now coalesced into a vaguely humanoid shape. The being stood nearly 3 meters tall, its form shimmering with an inner light that seemed to ripple and flow like liquid starlight. As Dr. Patel approached, she felt an overwhelming sense of ancient wisdom emanating from the creature. "People of Earth," the being spoke, its voice resonating not through the air, but directly within the minds of all who were present. "I am Zephyr, emissary of the Luminary. We come seeking your aid in a matter that threatens the very fabric of existence." Dr. Patel stepped forward, her scientific skepticism warring with the evidence before her eyes. "Welcome to Earth, Zephyr," she said, her voice steady despite her racing pulse. "I am Dr. Amrita Patel. Can you elaborate on this threat you speak of?" Zephyr's form shimmered, and suddenly the sky above them seemed to ripple and distort. For a brief moment, the stars appeared to blur and shift before snapping back into place. Gasps of shock and fear rippled through the gathered crowd. "What you just witnessed," Zephyr explained, "is a symptom of a cosmic decay that threatens to unravel the very laws of physics. The Luminary have watched over the universe for eons, maintaining the delicate balance of reality. But now, we face a threat beyond our comprehension." As Zephyr spoke, news of the encounter spread like wildfire across the globe. Social media exploded with theories and speculation, while governments scrambled to respond to this unprecedented situation. Within hours, a hastily assembled team of international experts arrived in New Delhi. Among them was Dr. Marcus Chen, a renowned theoretical physicist, and Colonel Yuki Tanaka, representing a coalition of global military forces. Dr. Chen approached Zephyr, his scientific curiosity evident in his eager expression. "Zephyr, you say this threat is beyond your comprehension. How then can we, a much younger species, hope to assist you?" Zephyr's form pulsed gently, conveying what might have been approval. "It is precisely because of your youth that we seek your aid, Dr. Chen. The Luminary have existed for so long that our thinking has become rigid. We have watched humanity's progress with great interest. Your species possesses a remarkable ability to innovate, to imagine the impossible and then strive to make it real." Colonel Tanaka stepped forward, her posture tense. "And why should we trust you? How do we know this isn't some elaborate deception?" Zephyr's form shimmered, and suddenly the gathered humans found themselves surrounded by a 3-dimensional projection of the cosmos. Galaxies swirled around them, stars pulsed with life, and in the distance, a creeping darkness seemed to consume everything in its path. "This is the threat we face," Zephyr explained, his mental voice tinged with urgency. "A cosmic cancer that devours reality itself. It has already consumed countless galaxies, and it is spreading faster than we can contain it." The projection zoomed in on Earth, a tiny blue marble in the vast expanse of space. "Your world, your entire galaxy, will be consumed within a matter of your years if we do not find a solution." The gravity of the situation settled over the gathered humans like a heavy shroud. Dr. Patel, her mind racing with possibilities, spoke up. "Zephyr, what you're describing defies our current understanding of physics. We'll need more information, more data, to even begin to grasp the nature of this threat." Zephyr nodded, an oddly human gesture from the ethereal being. "Of course, the Luminary are prepared to share our knowledge with humanity. But time is of the essence. Every moment we delay, the cosmic decay spreads further. As the implications of Zephyr's words sank in, a palpable sense of determination began to spread through the gathered humans. This was a threat beyond anything they had ever faced, but it was also an opportunity to prove humanity's worth on a cosmic scale. Dr. Chen turned to Colonel Tanaka, his eyes gleaming with excitement despite the dire circumstances. We're going to need to assemble the brightest minds from every field: physicists, mathematicians, engineers, even philosophers and artists. We need every perspective we can get. Colonel Tanaka nodded, already reaching for her comm device. I'll coordinate with global leadership. We'll need unprecedented cooperation between nations. Dr. Petal, her mind already racing with theories and equations, addressed Zephyr. We'll help you, Zephyr. Humanity has faced extinction-level threats before, and we've always found a way to survive. We'll face this threat together. Zephyr's form pulsed brightly, conveying a sense of hope and gratitude. Thank you, Dr. Petal. The fate of all existence now rests in humanity's hands. The luminaries stand ready to assist you in any way we can. As the sun began to rise over New Delhi, casting a warm glow over the gathered humans and their alien visitor, a new chapter in human history was beginning. The challenge ahead was immense, the stakes unimaginably high, but for the first time, humanity stood united with a common purpose. The race to save reality itself had begun. As dawn broke over New Delhi, the news of Zephyr's arrival and the cosmic threat spread across the globe like wildfire. Governments scrambled to respond, media outlets ran non-stop coverage, and citizens worldwide grappled with the implications of humanity's new role in the universe. Dr. Amrita Patel found herself at the center of a whirlwind of activity. Within hours of Zephyr's arrival, the United Nations Security Council convened an emergency session, with Dr. Patel and her colleagues presenting their initial findings via holographic projection. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Patel addressed the assembly, her voice steady despite the enormity of the situation. What we face is nothing short of an existential threat to all of reality. The entity known as Zephyr has provided us with preliminary data that suggests a fundamental breakdown in the laws of physics themselves. As murmurs of disbelief and concern rippled through the assembly, Dr. Marcus Chen stepped forward. We've confirmed Zephyr's claims through our own observations. The cosmic decay is real, and it's spreading at an alarming rate. If left unchecked, it will reach our galaxy within 5 years. The UN Secretary-General, her face grave, leaned forward. What are our options, doctors? Colonel Yuki Tanaka, representing the Global Military Coalition, spoke up. We're mobilizing resources worldwide, Madam Secretary, but this isn't a threat we can shoot our way out of. We need a scientific solution. Dr. Patel nodded in agreement. We're proposing the creation of a global task force, the best and brightest from every field, working together to understand and counter this threat. We're calling it Project Cosmos. As the Security Council debated the proposal, scenes of unity and determination played out across the globe. In Times Square, crowds gathered to watch the UN proceedings on massive screens. In Beijing, scientists worked around the clock, analyzing the data provided by Zephyr. In Lagos, engineers began retrofitting satellites to better monitor the cosmic anomalies. But not everyone welcomed humanity's new cosmic role. Protest movements sprang up, decrying the diversion of resources to what some called a space fairy tale. Conspiracy theories flourished online, claiming Zephyr's arrival was everything from an elaborate hoax to the prelude to an alien invasion. Dr. Elena Volkov, a prominent skeptic and physicist from Moscow University, became the voice of those demanding more proof. In a viral video, she challenged the scientific community. Show us the evidence. We cannot upend our entire world based on the word of a single entity, no matter how advanced they claim to be. Zephyr, sensing the growing tension, offered a solution. In a globally televised event, the Luminary emissary demonstrated their advanced technology, temporarily stabilizing a small region of space affected by the cosmic decay. The display, visible to amateur astronomers worldwide, silenced many doubters and galvanized global support for Project Cosmos. As weeks passed, the initial shock of Zephyr's arrival gave way to a sense of purpose. Research facilities around the world were repurposed for Project Cosmos. The International Space Station became the headquarters for a new era of space exploration, with plans drawn up for advanced deep space probes to study the cosmic decay up close. Dr. Patel found herself working closely with Zephyr, bridging the gap between human and luminary knowledge. One evening, as they reviewed simulations of the decay spread, she voiced a question that had been nagging at her. "Zephyr, why did the luminary choose Earth? Surely there are more advanced civilizations out there." Zephyr's form shimmered thoughtfully. "Advanced technology alone is not the answer, Dr. Patel. The luminary have observed countless civilizations rise and fall. What makes humanity unique is your adaptability, your creativity in the face of adversity. You see possibilities, but others see only obstacles." Dr. Chen, overhearing the conversation, chimed in. "It's true. Look at how we've come together in just a few weeks. Global conflicts have been set aside. Resources are being pooled on an unprecedented scale. We're making breakthroughs that would have taken decades under normal circumstances." Colonel Tanaka, who had been coordinating global security efforts, nodded in agreement. "It's not just governments and scientists. Ordinary people are contributing too. We've seen a surge in citizen science initiatives, crowdsourced data analysis, even children coming up with novel ideas that our top researchers are taking seriously." As if to underscore their point, alert chimed on Dr. Patel's tablet. A team of high school students in Nairobi had spotted an anomaly in the cosmic decay data but had eluded the supercomputers. It wasn't a solution, but it was a lead that could prove crucial. Zephyr's form pulsed with what seemed like hope. "This is why we came to Earth. Your species' greatest strength is not your technology or your resources, but your collective potential when united by a common cause." As the team delved back into their work with renewed vigor, news came in from around the world. Breakthroughs in quantum computing in Japan. A new theory of multidimensional physics from a collaboration between universities in Brazil and India. Prototype faster-than-light communication devices being tested in Australia. Humanity was rising to the challenge, showcasing ingenuity and determination on a scale never before seen. But as Dr. Patel looked at the latest projections of the cosmic decay spread, she knew they were in a race against time. The fate of not just Earth, but all of reality hung in the balance. And somewhere out there, beyond the reaches of their most powerful telescopes, the cosmic decay continued its relentless advance. The true test of humanity's resolve was yet to come. As Project Cosmos entered its third month, the initial wave of global unity began to face its first real tests. The strain of redirecting vast resources towards what still seemed to many an abstract threat was starting to show. Economic pressures mounted, and political tensions, briefly set aside in the face of cosmic peril, began to resurface. Dr. Amrita Patel found herself not just wrestling with mind-bending physics equations, but also navigating an increasingly complex web of international politics. Today, she stood before a holographic assembly of world leaders, her expression grave. "Distinguished leaders," she began, her voice steady despite her fatigue, "I know many of you are facing pressure to scale back our efforts, but I cannot stress enough the urgency of our mission. Our latest models suggest the cosmic decay is accelerating. We may have less time than we initially thought." As murmurs of concern rippled through the assembly, Dr. Marcus Chen stepped forward, pulling up a series of complex diagrams. "We've made significant progress in understanding the nature of the decay. It appears to be a cascading breakdown of quantum coherence on a cosmic scale. In layman's terms, the fundamental building blocks of reality are forgetting how to be reality." Zephyr, present as always, his form shimmering with an inner light, added, "This is why the luminary were unable to combat this threat alone. Our understanding of the universe, vast as it is rooted in what you would call classical physics. This decay operates on principles that challenge even our most advanced theories. Colonel Yuki Tanaka, who had been overseeing the global security implications of their work, spoke up. We're seeing increased reports of localized physics anomalies. Nothing major yet, but it's only a matter of time before these affect populated areas. We need a solution, and we need it soon. As the assembly debated next steps, Dr. Elena Volkov, once a vocal skeptic, but now a key member of Project Cosmos, burst into the room, her eyes wild with excitement. "We've had a breakthrough," she exclaimed, quickly apologizing for the interruption before continuing. "The team in Lagos, they've done it. They've managed to stabilize a quantum field in a localized area." The news sent a jolt of energy through the room. Dr. Patel quickly pulled up the data from Lagos, her eyes widening as she absorbed the implications. This could be it. If we can scale this up, we might be able to create a barrier against the decay. But as the initial excitement settled, the enormity of the challenge ahead became clear. Dr. Chen, always the voice of pragmatism, pointed out the energy requirements for this on a cosmic scale would be astronomical. We'd need to harness the power of stars. Zephyr's form pulsed thoughtfully. The luminary have technology that could assist with that, but integrating it with your quantum field generators would be a monumental task. As the assembly buzzed with a mixture of hope and trepidation, a young voice cut through the chatter. Niap Okafor, the 16-year-old prodigy from Lagos, whose insight had been crucial to the breakthrough, had been quietly listening in. Now she spoke up, her voice trembling slightly but growing in confidence. "What if we don't need to create a barrier around the whole universe?" she suggested. "What if we could create a kind of quantum lens? Something that could focus and amplify our efforts at the point where they're most needed." The room fell silent as the implications of Nia's idea sank in. Dr. Patel's mind raced with possibilities. A quantum lens, yes, that could work. We could create a network of these lenses, strategically placed to reinforce the areas where the fabric of reality is weakest. Dr. Chen was already running simulations on his tablet. The energy requirements would still be immense, but potentially within our reach, especially with luminary assistance. As the scientists excitedly discussed the technical details, Colonel Tanaka raised a sobering point. This would require a level of precision we've never attempted before. We need to position these lenses in deep space, far beyond our current reach. Zephyr's form brightened. The luminary can assist with transportation, but the construction and operation of these lenses would need to be done by humans. Our technology, advanced as it is, lacks the adaptability needed for this task. The assembly of world leaders, who had been listening with a mixture of hope and confusion, now faced a monumental decision. The plan was audacious, requiring resources and cooperation on an unprecedented scale. It would mean sending humans further into space than ever before, with no guarantee of success. Dr. Patel took a deep breath, looking around the room at the assembled leaders of humanity. "Ladies and gentlemen, I won't pretend this will be easy. What we're proposing has never been attempted before. The risks are enormous. But the alternative is the end of everything we know. This is humanity's moment. Together, we can save not just our world, but all of reality." As the assembly erupted into intense discussion, Dr. Patel felt a flutter of hope in her chest. The path ahead was fraught with challenges, but for the first time since Zephyr's arrival, she could see a glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. Outside the conference room, news of the breakthrough spread rapidly. Around the world, people looked up at the stars with a new sense of purpose. Humanity was about to embark on its greatest adventure yet, a journey not just into space, but into the very fabric of reality itself. The race to build the quantum lenses had begun. The launch site at Kourou, French Guiana, buzzed with an energy unlike anything in human history. The massive spacecraft, christened Quantum Horizon, stood gleaming in the early morning light, a testament to what humanity could achieve when united by a common purpose. Dr. Amrita Patel stood at the Mission Control Center, her heart racing as she watched the final preparations unfold on the monitors before her. The past year had been a whirlwind of breakthroughs, setbacks, and relentless work. Now, the fruits of their labor were about to be put to the ultimate test. Final systems check complete, reported Dr. Marcus Chen, his voice tight with a mixture of excitement and anxiety. All quantum stabilizers are functioning within parameters. Colonel Yuki Tanaka, now the mission's security chief, added, "Perimeter is secure. We'll go for launch." As the countdown began, Dr. Patel's mind drifted to the incredible journey that had brought them to this moment. The quantum lens technology, born from young Nia Okafu's insight, had progressed at a breakneck pace. Factories around the world had retooled to produce the specialized components needed for the lenses. The International Space Station had been transformed into a bustling construction yard, where the first prototype lenses were assembled and tested. But perhaps most remarkably, a new era of global cooperation had dawned. Former rival nations now worked side by side, pooling resources and expertise. The crew of the Quantum Horizon reflected this new spirit of unity, a diverse team of the world's best and brightest, chosen not for their nationality, but for their skills and adaptability. Dr. Elena Volkov, once the voice of skepticism, now stood as the mission's lead physicist. Nia Okafor, despite her youth, had earned a place on the crew as a quantum systems specialist, and at the helm as mission commander was Colonel Tanaka, whose steady leadership had guided them through countless crises during the preparations. As the final seconds ticked down, Dr. Patel felt a gentle pulse of energy beside her. Zephyr, the luminary emissary, had been a constant presence throughout the project. Now, his ethereal form shimmered with what seemed like anticipation. "Your species continues to amaze us, Dr. Patel," Zephyr's thoughts resonated in her mind. The luminary have provided the means for this journey, but it is human ingenuity and determination that will see it through. The ground shook as the Quantum Horizon's engines roared to life. With a blinding flash and a thunderous roar, humanity's greatest endeavor lifted off, piercing the sky and reaching for the stars. As the spacecraft climbed higher, Dr. Patel and her team monitored every system with bated breath. The integration of luminary propulsion technology with human engineering was about to face its greatest test. "Passing Kármán line," Dr. Chen reported, his voice tense. "Preparing for translunar injection." The minutes stretched into hours as the Quantum Horizon pushed further into space than any human-crewed vessel before it. Finally, Colonel Tanaka's voice crackled over the comm. "Mission Control, this is Quantum Horizon. We've successfully achieved stable orbit beyond the moon. All systems nominal. We'll go for the first jump." A cheer erupted in Mission Control, quickly hushed as focus returned to the critical next phase. The luminary jump technology would allow the Quantum Horizon to cross vast distances of space in a fraction of the time conventional propulsion would require, but it had never been used with a human crew before. Initiating jump sequence, Dr. Volkov's voice came through, calm but edged with excitement. "Quantum stabilizers at full power. Prepare for transition in 3, 2, 1. For a heart-stopping moment, all communication with the Quantum Horizon cut out. The screens in Mission Control flickered, filled with static, then went dark. Dr. Patel held her breath, her knuckles white as she gripped the edge of her console. Then, like a miracle, the screens flickered back to life. Colonel Tanaka's face appeared, her eyes wide with wonder. "Mission Control, you're not going to believe this. We've done it. We're in the Andromeda Galaxy." The room erupted in cheers and tears of joy. They had done it. Human beings had traveled further than ever thought possible, crossing millions of light years in the blink of an eye. But even as they celebrated, Dr. Patel knew this was just the beginning. The real challenge lay ahead, constructing and activating the quantum lenses in the heart of the cosmic decay, their last hope to save reality itself. As the initial euphoria settled, Dr. Patel addressed her team, her voice filled with determination. Well done, everyone. But remember, we've only just begun. The fate of all existence now rests in the hands of those brave souls aboard the quantum horizon. Let's make sure we give them every support we can from here. Outside, the stars twinkled in the night sky, oblivious to the monumental journey unfolding across the cosmos. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, driven by the noblest of purposes, to save not just their own world, but all of reality. The greatest adventure in human history was underway, and the clock was ticking. The vast expanse of the Andromeda Galaxy stretched before the quantum horizon, a tapestry of stars and cosmic dust that would have been breathtaking under any circumstances. But for the crew, the beauty was marred by the encroaching tendrils of the cosmic decay, visible now as a shimmering distortion that seemed to eat away at the very fabric of space. Inside the ship, Colonel Yuki Tanaka floated in the command module, her face illuminated by the glow of holographic displays. "Status report," she called out, her voice steady despite the tension that hung in the air. Dr. Elena Volkov's voice crackled over the comm. "Quantum stabilizers are holding, but we're detecting increased strain as we approach the decay front. We'll need to deploy the first lens soon." Nia Okafor, the young prodigy whose insight had made this mission possible, chimed in. "I've finished the final calibrations on the lens. We're as ready as we'll ever be." Colonel Tanaka nodded, her expression grim. "All right, team. This is what we've trained for. Let's make history." As the quantum horizon maneuvered into position, the enormity of their task weighed heavily on each crew member. They were about to attempt something never before conceived, creating a network of quantum lenses to reinforce the very structure of reality itself. Back on Earth, Dr. Amrita Patel and her team at Mission Control watched with bated breath. The communications delay was minimal thanks to Luminary technology, but the feeling of helplessness, of being unable to directly assist if something went wrong, was palpable. "Quantum Horizon, you are clear for lens deployment," Dr. Patel's voice carried across the vast distance of space. "May the stars be with you." With precise movements, the ship extended its robotic arms, carefully maneuvering the first quantum lens into position. As it activated, a brilliant blue light erupted from its center, expanding outward in a mesmerizing display of energy. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly, the shimmering distortion of the cosmic decay began to recede from the area around the lens. A cheer erupted both on the ship and in Mission Control. "It's working," Dr. Volkov exclaimed, her usual stoic demeanor cracking with excitement. "The lens is stabilizing the quantum field." But their celebration was short-lived. As the lens continued to push back the decay, alarms began to blare throughout the ship. "We've got a problem," Neha reported, her young voice tense. "The decay is adapting, pushing back against the lens. Energy readings are off the charts." Colonel Tanaka's training kicked in. "Reroute auxiliary power to the stabilizers. We need to hold this position." The ship groaned under the strain as the cosmic forces battled around them. In Mission Control, Dr. Patel and her team worked feverishly, running simulations and calculations in real time. "Quantum Horizon, we're detecting a pattern in the decay's response," Dr. Patel reported. "It's almost as if it's alive, adapting to our intervention." Dr. Chen, who had been analyzing the data, suddenly straightened. "That's it. It's not just decay, it's a form of cosmic evolution. Our universe is trying to reshape itself, but the process has gone haywire." This revelation hit the crew like a physical blow. They weren't just fighting against entropy, they were grappling with the very forces that shaped reality. As the situation grew more dire, Zephyr's ethereal form appeared on the quantum horizon, his presence transmitted across space by means beyond human understanding. "Your insight is correct, Dr. Chen." Zephyr's thoughts resonated with the crew. "This is why the Luminary could not solve this alone. We lacked the perspective to see the universe as a living, evolving entity." Nia, her young mind racing with possibilities, spoke up. If it's evolving, then maybe we shouldn't be trying to stop it. Maybe we need to guide it. A moment of stunned silence followed as the implications of her words sank in. Then, like a spark igniting a flame, ideas began to flow. We could recalibrate the lenses, Dr. Volkov suggested, her fingers flying over her console. Instead of creating a barrier, we could use them to channel the energy, direct the evolution. Colonel Tanaka nodded, a new determination in her eyes. Do it. Recalibrate all lenses. We're not here to stop the universe from changing. We're here to ensure it changes in a way that doesn't erase all of existence. As the crew worked frantically to implement their new strategy, the cosmic forces around them seemed to intensify. The ship shuddered, systems flickering as reality itself bent and warped around them. In mission control, Dr. Patel watched the readings with a mixture of awe and terror. They're attempting to guide the evolution of the universe itself, she whispered, the enormity of what they were witnessing almost too much to comprehend. Aboard the quantum horizon, as the recalibrated lenses began to activate one by one, a strange calm settled over the crew. They had come to the edge of everything, faced with forces beyond imagination, and yet here they were, a handful of humans and one alien ally, daring to shape the destiny of all reality. As the final lens activated, a blinding light engulfed the ship. For a moment that seemed to stretch into eternity, every crew member felt as if they were everywhere and everywhere at once, witnesses to the birth and death of countless universes. Then, as suddenly as it began, it was over. The light faded, the alarms fell silent, and the view outside the ship slowly cleared to reveal a cosmos transformed. The decay was gone, replaced by a gentle shimmer that seemed to pulse with new life and possibility. Colonel Tanaka's voice, filled with wonder and exhaustion, broke the silence. Mission control. I think we did it. The universe. It feels different. Renewed. As the implications of what they had achieved began to sink in, a new chapter in the history of not just humanity, but of all existence, began to unfold. The universe had been reborn, guided by the ingenuity and courage of those who dared to dream the impossible. The greatest adventure was over, but in many ways, it was also just beginning. The return journey of the quantum horizon was markedly different from its outbound voyage. As the ship traversed the cosmos, the crew marveled at the transformed universe around them. Stars shone with renewed vigor, galaxies pulsed with vibrant energy, and the very fabric of space seemed to hum with a harmony previously unknown. Colonel Yuki Tanaka stood at the ship's observation deck, her usually stoic demeanor softened by a sense of wonder. I never thought I'd say this, she murmured, but space looks alive. Dr. Elena Volkov nodded, her eyes gleaming with scientific curiosity. It's as if we've witnessed the universe taking its next evolutionary step. The implications for physics are, well, revolutionary doesn't even begin to cover it. Young Nia Okafor, who had grown from a prodigy into a seasoned scientist during their journey, chimed in. It's beautiful, but I can't help wondering, what have we really done? Have we changed the fundamental nature of reality itself? As if in answer to her question, Zephy's ethereal form materialized beside them. In a sense, yes, the luminary emissary's thoughts resonated in their minds. But perhaps it's more accurate to say you've unlocked potential that was always there. You've shown the universe a new way to be. The journey back to Earth was filled with intense debate, scientific analysis, and philosophical discussions about the nature of their achievement and its implications for all sentient life. As they approached the solar system, a sense of anticipation mixed with trepidation filled the ship. How would they explain what they had done? How would humanity, and indeed, all the races of the universe, adapt to this new cosmic reality? The quantum horizon's re-entry into Earth's atmosphere was met with global celebration. Crowds gathered in cities worldwide, eyes turned skyward to catch a glimpse of the ship that had saved reality itself. As the crew disembarked, they were met by Dr. Amrita Patel and the rest of the mission control team. Tears, laughter, and embraces were shared as the gravity of their accomplishments sank in. Dr. Patel, her eyes shining with pride and amazement, addressed the assembled crowd and the billions watching via global broadcast. Today, we welcome home not just heroes, but the architects of our universe's future. They have faced the unknown, grappled with forces beyond our comprehension, and emerged victorious. But more than that, they have ushered in a new era of cosmic evolution. In the days and weeks that followed, the world struggled to come to terms with a new reality. Scientists worked around the clock to understand the changes in the fundamental laws of physics. Philosophers and religious leaders grappled with the existential implications of humanity's role in reshaping the cosmos. But amidst the chaos and excitement, a new sense of unity emerged. The lines between nations blurred as humanity began to see itself as part of a larger cosmic community. The technology developed for the Quantum Horizon mission spurred a new age of innovation and exploration. Zephyr, speaking before a special session of the United Nations, offered a perspective that resonated deeply with many. You have proven yourselves not just worthy inhabitants of this universe, but its caretakers. The luminary came to you in our hour of need, and you rose to the challenge in ways we could never have imagined. Now, we invite you to join us as equal partners in shepherding this new cosmic era. As humanity took its first tentative steps into this new reality, the crew of the Quantum Horizon found themselves at the forefront of a new age of discovery. Colonel Tanaka led efforts to establish Earth's first deep space colonies. Dr. Volkov spearheaded research into the new laws of physics, pushing the boundaries of science further than ever before. Nia Okafor, now a respected scientist in her own right, worked on developing new technologies that harnessed the revitalized energies of the cosmos. Dr. Patel, reflecting on the journey that had brought them to this point, wrote in her memoirs, "We set out to save the universe, but in the end, we did something far greater. We helped it grow, evolve, and reach its full potential, and in doing so, we discovered our own." As Earth's first embassy to the galactic community opened its doors, with representatives from countless alien races in attendance, humanity stood on the threshold of a future brighter and more expansive than anyone had ever dreamed possible. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now beckoned with newfound promise. Humanity had not just heeded the call for help, they had answered it in a way that transformed both themselves and the very fabric of reality. The greatest adventure had only just begun. And somewhere in the vast, renewed cosmos, the universe itself seemed to pulse with gratitude and anticipation for the wonders yet to come.